Okay, guys, so I just got back from my second job, and this was orientation, a job I really wanted, upscale, classy job. And my first job didn't want to let me go today. And I was really ticked off. I mean, the other day, my boss made me stay an hour late, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to have to put my foot down with him because as soon as I start my job, this stuff isn't happening. So he's like, remember, I hired you first. You know, you say you can't work for me at night, but you can go work for this place. So I don't know if he was jealous or what, but I'm like, look, you told me, these are the days that I can choose to pick to work for you, and you're going to work around me. So 2:30 comes along today, and I am being purposely provoked. I've had to put up with like all day long. Melissa, do this. Melissa, do that. Melissa, do this and be like one of the hardest workers there, right? Compared to people who just stand around. Melissa, do this. Melissa, do that, like a slave all day long. So, I can put up with so much and I do put up with a lot. But then, I said, look, I'm leaving at 2:30, and then I have this manager saying, "Oh, get the tea done." And I'm like, "Okay, it's going." I said, "This is the first time I've made the tea, so, I don't really know what you want." And so I'm mopping in between, and then she starts accusing me of not doing the tea, and I'm like, "Hey," to my boss, "look, this is not the time to teach me something new 5 minutes before I have to leave." I'm like, this is baloney, right? So I called my boss back and I let him have it. I really did. And I did a video on that. I'm like, usually I will just be done if I feel disrespected, like I was. I'll just be done if I'm mistreated. So, I said, hey, this is your job. You knew, we talked about it ahead of time. You knew that I had to be out today, da 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 at this time. And you purposely did not let me out. This is bull, right? So when I had gone to this interview, I said, look, I'm a good worker, but I do have a weak point. Don't disrespect me. And they're on the same page as me. They're like, yeah, your boss disrespected you. And I was telling them about it, right? That I was like, I am so sorry. I'm late today over here. This is my new job. I'm excited to meet you guys and everything, but my boss wouldn't let me leave. And they're like, well, we did, someone said we did feel a little disrespected. And I'm like, I am so sorry. I even called and said I'm going to be a few minutes late. And it's really my pet peeve. I told them it's my pet peeve. When I put a boundary up, one is to be late. I'll be like 2 hours early at work before I'm late. One is being late. The other one is when I put my boundary up and I'm very clear about it, and someone tries to push my buttons and try to break me or try to disrespect me and mistreat me, that will be like, okay, I'm done. So if I didn't need the money, I probably would be done with this first job based on principle. But because, I'm like, no, Melissa, you need the money. He is going to make a change. You are going to be out at 2. And if he doesn't give me that, yeah, I'm done. But if I didn't need this job, it'd be like, no, I'm done because you did it once to me. You disrespected me once. And I've had to put up with a lot with this job and I haven't shared it. Like one day I said, hey, guys, if you're going to throw that food away, I'll take it. So I was leaving and I said, hey, can I take this food home? Yeah, you can, Melissa. Go ahead. So I'm in the bathroom changing. I get out and my boss is like, get over here. And I'm like, what? He's like, get over here. I'm like, yeah. He's like, did you just take some food? I'm like, yeah. I asked. And he's like, who told you you could take that? And I'm like, so and so did. And so then he's like, I'm going to fire somebody because that's stealing. I'm like, hey, that was not stealing because I asked. And so, and then the other day I said, where's the onion rings during a major slam, right? And he's just standing here like this, like, you don't know where the onion rings are? I'm like, in the freezer? He's like, yeah. He's like, you need to be more observant. So I had to go all the way in the back to the freezer. And then so today I'm like, hey, why aren't your onion rings like right by the fryer? Like you have a little freezer here and you have a freezer here. So why do I have to walk all the way back to the back of the store to get onion rings, right? It makes no sense. He's like, well, it's closer to this fryer. I'm like, no, it's not. It's not closer at all. So, the point with that was the lack of communication, the lack of respect, again, treating me like I'm an idiot because I know that the onion rings, because I've worked at a lot of fast food places, should be next to the fry later, right? So just the disrespect's been there, and I'm just like, okay, just persevere, but today I absolutely had it. And I've never had to, lay into a boss like that. I mean, it was purposely done to make me, finish something when they knew way ahead of time. They knew for days I was supposed to be out. So I am glad with this new job we're on the same page. We talk things out, open policy. If I'm uncomfortable with something, like one job, I had to say, look, I'm uncomfortable. You're giving me too much attention. I'm uncomfortable. And this is if anybody in the restaurant business, especially the restaurant business, tends to have a lot of harassment. Anyone you feel uncomfortable with, just tell us and we will deal with it. And of course, there's